I actually broke my wrist a little bit ago, like 2 years ago, and I actually cut off my cast a day after they put it on to do a match. I said I don't care. I went outside. I started applying my cast off at home, and everybody was having a fit. I went out. I did the match with a broken wrist. So I'm a terrible example. I cut off my own cast. Just go out there and compete.
So, what happened in that case after you cut off the cast?
Oh, it was terrible. My wrist got worse. I had to get surgery. I had to get a screw put in my arm to keep it together. And I ended up suffering for 6 months, but I was so competitive. They asked me to do a big match. I took the match. I cut off my cast and I did it. And I just had to get surgery a week after.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Raf Esparza, coming to you with another great installment of the Grappling Hour. I hope you're having a great day. If you're not, you're about to, because we're going to talk with the first signee of the Philly Phenoms. But before we get back to him, a few quick reminders. First and foremost, if you like the show, and I hope that you do, I would love it if you guys support us at patreon.com/grappling hour. But Raf, what do I get if I go to patreon.com/grappling hour? I'll tell you. For just $5 a month, you can see my interviews 30 days before anybody else. And a little secret to you guys right now. We promise you 4 interviews per month. We are currently so far ahead of schedule on that promise that I could do no interviews until April right now. That is how much I overperform for you guys. So I try to give you guys not only the most timely interviews with people who are of the mix and of the now, but we look ahead to the future, and we've got a lot of things going on. We have a lot of affiliations between RFL, Sparstar, PGF. We interview a lot of those local talents and major developing talents in grappling, as well as the biggest names in the sport. So I'm just saying, nobody else makes more content than me in Jiu-Jitsu. Look it up. I dare you. Literally look it up. I see you, BJJ mental models. You're pretty good. You're up there. But see, like, it got dark and cloudy. Do you like how the atmosphere just changed when I was like, nobody else, not even BJJ mental models, and then I got dark? Didn't do it now. I just think it followed the tone of the conversation. Anyway, shout out to those folks. They do great work too, but they don't do as much as me. So we can admit that. Shout outs to all of our friends. But yes, check us out, patreon.com/grappling hour. And for a few extra bonus dollars, you can see extra bonus content not available anywhere else, including Roast Raf, a segment where people roast my competition footage. And your boy's getting out there competing soon. So hopefully you don't get good footage of that. That's y'all's favorite segment, not mine. But if you want to see it, you got to pay for it. You can also see a segment where why did it get dark again? This is amazing. It chooses its time. I'm not moving that much. You can also check out a segment called the Grappling Hour Challenge, where people pick out a card. They get 2 minutes to hit that random submission on me. I don't know what it is, but I get to roast them. You can also see extra bonus content, including a tape study segment where we watch matches and fights with our guests and get to know inside of their brain. And of course, today we're going to do one with our friend here, asking him what his favorite grappling match of 2025 was. So you can only see that at patreon.com/grappling hour. And those extra special episodes are only for our premium users. You can also like, comment, and subscribe onto this video. And if you don't know what you want to comment on right now, we will give you a prompt by the end of this video. If you want to support the show, you can also check us out at rafesparza.com/merch. Get you a Grappling Hour hoodie, a tank top, a t-shirt, and we've decided this year. If you wear a Grappling Hour tank top and you're on the sauce, we will look the other way. I get it. You want to fill it out. You want to look crazy with your gains. Totally cool in this world. But if you're not wearing a Grappling Hour tank top, we will report you to the USADA. So there is that. And last but not least, you can check us out on our Discord if you want to continue the conversations that we have here on the show. All right, let's talk about our guest. Our guest is making waves. He forever will be the first signee from the Philly Phenoms. They are a brand new franchise in the world of the PGF. I was there when they announced it, that they were going to become into existence. And I'm happy to announce we have here on today's show the very first signee. And yes, he is very excited about it. If you've seen his appearances on other shows, my man's really excited and talking very excitedly about the things he's going to do. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome for the very first time on the show, Andrew Kochel. How are you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, man?
It's a pleasure. Congratulations are in order. First, off the top of the whole questionnaires that I've got for you, what did it feel like to become the very first signee as a person who is so proud of his residency as a Philadelphia sports fan?
Yeah, man, it actually felt so good. I grew up training jiu-jitsu in the Philly area my whole life. It means so much to me. Since I was a little kid, my dream was to compete in something professionally like jiu-jitsu. I wrestled my whole life. I did jiu-jitsu my whole life. So when I got the call to be the first phenom, it was like a dream come true since I was like 6 years old.
So with that in mind, you had said this on another show where you were like, hey, man, I obviously wanted to be signed to whatever it was, Philly. When did you first find out that there was going to be a Philadelphia team?
Yeah, I was actually training at an open mat, and I heard people talking about it. And then it happened to be that Lauren actually hit me up like a week later about being the first guy. So it just worked out well. I was at open mat, Lauren was there, and heard people talking about it. And then they asked me like a week later if I'd be the first guy, and I was honored. It just felt right into place for me.
Like, that has to feel incredibly great. So obviously, I'm born and raised Los Angeles. I would be the last person they would ask. But I would be honored if anybody ever had a franchise. They asked me, especially if it was something near and dear to me like jiu-jitsu. For you, when you have this moment of pride, what did you tell your family members? Because for friends and family, they have to know you're involved in jiu-jitsu and that it's a huge part of your life. But did they understand the significance of being this very first member in this state to be signed to a franchise team?
Yeah, I think they understand it. I think my whole family was excited. Both my parents, since I've been a little kid, supported me. They took me to tournaments all over the place, traveled with me, got hotel rooms, everything for me so I could try to be better at jiu-jitsu. So I think this moment wasn't just a big thing for me. It was big for my whole family. They're excited to watch the PGF. They love watching it. I think they're going to be on every Wednesday night and watch me compete. They're going to be at home having parties. My gym's going to have parties. So I think for like back home in my home life, it's just as important to me as it is to them. It's going to be a huge event for everybody here.
I love hearing that. You know, we have a huge mom and dad demographic, but can we start with a mea culpa here, which is, listen, this is all the fun part, but I'm not sure if you see that we do the hosting of the pre and post show. So have you watched any of that? Are you familiar?
Yeah, I've seen some of it, yes.
Okay. So you know that jokes are a huge part of that element, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And you're going to be okay with us doing jokes about you, right?
I'm all about it. I love it.
Okay, fair enough. Good. Because honestly, a lot of people say they are. And then, you know, the season comes in. I've just always been of the belief that we are like family there. So we're your older brothers. We get to do the jokes about you, but we're highly protective of you from other people who are in the comment section. But what I bring this up for this reason. We are huge in the parent demographic. Like every parent, you get nervous because you're thinking, oh, we're kind of roasting their kids. We don't know. Every parent, without fail, has been like, we love you guys. You guys are great. Please roast my kid harder. And I'm like, wait, what? Are your parents like this? Because you mentioned that they're going to be really rowdy, excited. I imagine they'll be in the chat section. Are they the parents that are like, nah, go after my kid? Or are they going to be the protective parents that are going to be like, hey, back off. Andrew's a good kid.
No, I actually think my parents have always been my biggest critic in all my matches. If I do something bad, they roast me themselves. My dad always pushes me to do better. My mom will tell me if I sucked in a match, she'll be like, that wasn't you, you got to do better. So I already hear it from my parents now, so I don't think you guys roast me will be any big deal to them. They'll actually laugh and jump on board.
I love hearing this because there was a second part I heard you on the Insiders with, and that you said you're so competitive, you don't care if you're playing Monopoly with your mom. Does she know this? And what has been the most embarrassing competitive story that you have had in your family?
Yeah, the funny thing is like I'm only competitive because that's how I was born up to be. Like my parents, we compete in anything. We like we'll just make up games in the house and compete against each other. We play Monopoly, we played Trouble growing up. I had people like get mad at Solly in my house before even playing like the Wii golf. My parents get mad if they lose. So I think everything we do is just competitive. So for me, it's everything we do is always just a competition. So we can sit here for days, and anything we do, there's always some kind of fight or drama involved just because everybody wants to win.
Are you guys meticulous rule breakers? Or are you win by any cost family? Like, who is most likely to cheat if you're playing a board game in your family?
Oh, definitely my father. I think everybody plays fair, but my dad will do anything he can to win. So I've seen him take some cards out the deck and put it under his leg before and stuff, and we had to stop the game. So we're all pretty fair except for my dad. He'll do anything he can to win.
So, with that being said, are you proud of your dad for cheating? Are you the one reporting him? Because I have to be honest, when I roll with people, I'm pretty straightforward in telling them at some point I will cheat. And I like to tell people that because I'm getting older, man. Like, it's getting really hard as you get older and you're rolling with people who are 20 or 30 years old and they're very good. So are you the person reporting them, or is there a little part of you that's like, respect, dad? Like, you're trying to win anyway. I kind of see that in you.
Yeah, I would take it as both ways. If my dad's cheating but it's helping me, I stay quiet. If he's cheating but it's going against me, then I'll be like, oh, he's cheating. Because I'm a competitor too. So if it's gonna help me, I let it go. If I'm gonna lose because of it, then I call him out on it. That's just
Okay.
how I am.
You're speaking my language here, but I really want to know, what would you say is the best board game or like game that you play? Because there's some downtime sometimes here in the PGF world. And I had recently had on good faith, there's another competitor, you'd have to watch the interview, who said that they'd never played poker really before. And I was like, uh-oh, that was the wrong thing to tell me, especially when I know how much money y'all will be making at the draft. So is there a particular game or two or three that you feel like you're the best at if there were to be downtime at the PGF?
My family actually plays a game called Scattergoys. Maybe I can try and get it while we're down there and play it. I don't know if you ever played Scattergoys, but it's like a game. You roll a dice and you get a letter, and they ask you a question. Every answer has to start with the letter of the dice you rolled. So if you get like Q or Z or Y, it's very hard. But it's you have to think. It's like a thinking game. It kind of reminds me of Jiu-Jitsu. You have to think about the answer and you have to figure it out. But you also time. So we have like a minute to answer all the questions.
I love that. That is a great game. You know what I played? Are you familiar with the game Cards Against Humanity?
Yeah.
Okay. So they have a game that's just like that, but with Cards Against Humanity. So they give you a prompt and they give you a letter, you roll a die, and then you have to come up with a Cards Against Humanity answer with that beginning it. And so it's a different thing, and you're supposed to match up with only one person, but not everybody in the group. So it's very tricky to only like mind meld with one person. And because it's Cards Against Humanity, you have joke answers you give. And my wife was getting pissed at me. She's like, why are you writing jokes? And I was like, I want to be funny. I don't care if we win. I just want to be funniest. And I didn't do too bad there. But one of my friends who's a huge game show producer, he has every board game in existence. So every time we get together for like a major holiday or something, he literally curates 20 or 30 different games for us to play. And I'm like, oh my God, he spent so much time figuring this out. So I'm making mental notes as I go there. But yeah, I would get in on that game. I like that you said that, knowing, or maybe not knowing, that I'm a compulsive gambler. And I'm like, damn, I want to see who's going to win these things. Because like, I don't think Elijah Carlton's very good at categories, if I'm being honest. But I'll put money on that later. So we'll
That'll be a good one to play.
That's what I'm saying. Because the best part is, my favorite thing about seeing people outside of jiu-jitsu is watching their same competitive drive exist at a game they're not good at, because they just get frustrated and they start getting mad, sometimes at the game, sometimes at other people. And I love those crash outs more than anything. That's the reason why I play games with people.
Yeah, me too. And then you see, if I lose, I'll keep on like playing until I get the win. I hate it. Like I'll get stuck on a game for like days in a row just because if I'm not good at it, I just want to get better. Everything I do, I want to like try and get better at it. So I'll just keep on playing until I become not one of the better people.
So Andrew, coming up, and we'll get to your origin story in a second. You've mentioned that you've had sub-only time limit matches or no time limit matches. Were you the guy, if somebody submitted you, you were like, well, I guess we got to stay until I win now?
Yeah, that's how I am. If I lose a match, I always want to go against the guy again. Or even in the gym, like if someone I figure is giving me a hard round or I have trouble with them, I'll try and roll with them the most each night. I think going with someone better than you is only the way to get better. So if I have trouble with someone, I'll roll with them the most. Or if I lose a match to someone, I'll always like try and train and get better and try and face them again to try and win that match.
Same. Yesterday, I was training with somebody and I caught him once and I'm trying to get ready for a competition. So I let him start in mount. I was like, all right, if I submitted you once, I need to work from bad positions. So let's go. And this dude had the nerve to wrist lock me from up top. And I was like, oh, well, now we're rolling again. And he was like, dude, I got to go now. And I was like, you don't have to go anywhere. It only takes me a minute to submit you if I really want to. I was like, I didn't know we were doing this. Now I'm pissed. I shouldn't have given you position. And he just laughed because he's like, I'm so sorry I wrist lock you. I was like, that time is over, dude. Now I got to get one back. And like, I always think there's proportional submissions. So like, if you hit me with a wrist lock, I'm hitting you with the worst pro wrestling move I have in my arsenal. Like, I'm hitting you with a Boston Crab. I'm hitting you with some neck crank, like something prison rules equivalent.
See, that's funny because I always try and like whatever I figure I'm not gonna be able to do to the person, I try and do that submission to them. I figure if someone has like real good like guillotine defense or DOS defense, I just try and guillotine and DOS them the whole time just to get myself better at them submissions. So we're
See,
kind of on the same playing field there.
we are on the same playing field because I'm going to tell you this. I don't know if you do this game, but I apologize to your students and friends if I put this thought in your head. I play a game with my students. We might be starting a roll, and I'll literally ask them, what's the move you don't want to get caught with? And they're like, Twister. And I'm like, done. And they are so mad because I will fixate on that. And the worst moment is when I catch them with that move and they're like, why did I even say that? I should have just said like Kimura. And I'm like, whatever you said I was going to do. I want to get better at short time trying to make something visual happen. Like if I can visualize it in my head, it doesn't mean I can always do it, but the better I get at that, the better it serves for me as a grappler and in competition. So that is a game I'd like to give to you because there's no greater way to have people hate you at your own gym than if you tell them like, what don't you want to get caught with? Because sometimes they're thinking like, oh, that's so nice of you. You're not going to get an armbar on me. And it was like, no, actually the opposite. Now that's what I'm fixating on.
See, we kind of do the same thing. Me and my other teacher, we whatever move we teach for the week, we try and hit the move of the night on that on the students. So whatever I'm teaching for the week, I'll do like them submissions the whole week in the gym. That way that people can say what I'm teaching actually works. Because if it works on you, then you start to believe it more.
Yeah, exactly. And some of my students, when I do that to them, the worst is the student that goes, I believed you. You don't have to show me it works. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Other people are watching. So now I can't help myself. And yeah, man, I just tell people this. When you roll with everybody the same way every single day, the onus is on you to make it fun and to try and vary the training. So a lot of the times I'm giving up position, I'm trying out new stuff, and it sucks because there are some days where I'm not doing as well, but I really do feel like it's a long-term commitment, especially if you teach them a move and you go, well, you don't get it because you just started it, but it works. And here's how. And then they start to believe you a little bit more.
Right, I agree with that 100%. I've always been a believer in like if you get the move done to you and you tap to it or you see it works, then you're gonna want to do it yourself more because you understand how the process works of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, okay. Well, here's the sad part is, Andrew, I'm now realizing a few things. One, we talked off air where I was like, hey man, I roll with people out here locally. You're welcome to roll. Now I realize we might be in for a long day. If my nonsense and your nonsense mesh, you're pretty good. So cheating has to go higher for me. But I also know that you're just as stubborn as I am. So it might be like he didn't catch me with the thing he told me he was going to catch me with. So I think we might be here for a minute. So good to know. Very good to know.
Okay.
Andrew, I want to ask this though. So we got over the idea for the Philly Phenoms and you being the first. How much relief is there that now you can just watch from the sidelines on the draft? Because a lot of people have nerves who aren't signed. And everybody who isn't signed, who goes into the draft, doesn't necessarily have a team. So not everybody is going to necessarily be a starter. What does it feel like to have that sort of sense of relief and watch from the sidelines?
Yeah, it feels so good to know like my spot's secure and I'm going to be on the team because obviously if I'm in the draft or something, I want to be there, I want to compete. But I'm also still a little nervous, not nervous, but I guess excited nervous because I want to like see who's on our team too. So I'm still going to be paying attention to the whole draft and be a part of it. I want to see who the Philly Phenoms get because I'm coming to Vegas to win. And I think as much as this is an individual thing, I still want to win as a team. So I care about who we get in the team. So I'm excited and still nervous for the draft just to see like who the Phenoms get, see who I'm going to be training with and preparing with.
Are you going to be texting from home and being like, hey, have we thought about this guy? Because, seeing that this is a new organization and they've already announced the coach who has experience with the PGF as well. Sometimes I know competitive people and they just kind of want to be like, hey, is there a text chain that we can do that I can be a part of? Like, what's going on here?
It's interesting because I already gave us some input on some of the guys in the draft. Obviously, we have the Philadelphia qualifier this weekend, and I know a lot of guys in that because of this area, so I want to see who wins that first. But I've been talking to the coach and the owners already about giving my inputs on who I think we should take, guys I know or guys I just watch and think are very good. And they've been listening to me. We discussed it all together already, so I think being on the Philly Phenoms is cool because like they actually take into your opinion too. So it's been awesome to see. I love everybody so far. And it's been fabulous. My experience with the Phenoms is amazing. I'm actually excited for this team. They listen to me. They listen to the coach. I think we're going to have a great season one.
That's awesome to hear. Let me ask this as well, because one of the things you like to pride yourself on is you go out there and you compete all the time. How hard is it right now to supplement that gene while you're kind of waiting for this big show in a couple months?
It's tough. Anybody who knows me or heard about me before, I compete at least usually 2 times a month. I try and do something every weekend just to stay active. So I've been a little bit slow with competitions, but I think it's good for me. My body feels healthy. I feel great. I got that itch to compete, which I think is going to be amazing because I'm so used to going out and just competing so much that now I like miss it. I'm like addicted to it. So I'm going to show up to the PGF and I'm going to be ready to just go out there and try and compete. I'm excited. I think this waiting time is actually going to make it better for me because when I get out there to compete again, I'm going to be ready to go.
Okay. But we just went over how competitive you are. So I'm trying to figure out, where does that go for 2 more months? Are you supplementing that with something? Like, are you taking on maybe a new hobby? Because as any addict will tell you, that desire doesn't go away. And we're all addicted to jiu-jitsu. So we know that energy has to go somewhere else. So is it going anywhere recently?
No, I think the competition energy just going into my training. I'm at the gym. I'm working out harder. I'm doing more cardio. I'm doing more rounds in the gym. I'm doing more training, more positional drilling, more everything. I think all that competition is just like eating me alive inside. And I'm just training harder to be ready for the PGF. So I think I'm still like miss competing, but I turned it into a focus of getting myself better. And I think it's actually helping a lot.
Got it. Murdering teammates. Figured that out now. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. Because for me, I always like to tell people this. If I'm ever injured, I'm insufferable because I can't train. Or if I'm sick, there's a part of my brain that gets a little grumpy, a little angry, and I find myself sometimes cooking a little bit more. Or I'll watch a movie or two that I never got around to that I really wanted to see. So I've been trying to find ways to better express myself during those times, because my wife will be the first to tell me, like, go away. Like, you're in a bad mood. You're not really fun to be around. And I go, right, I can't train right now. That's why. So I was just curious if that invested its way in any other hobbies or anything that you were doing while
Well, no, you see, the last time I actually broke my wrist a little bit ago, like 2 years ago, and I actually cut off my cast a day after they put it on to do a match. I said I don't care. I went outside. I started applying my cast off at home, and everybody was having a fit. I went out. I did the match with a broken wrist. So I'm a terrible example. I cut off my own cast just to go out there and compete.
So what happened in that case after you cut off the cast?
Oh, it was terrible. My wrist got worse. I had to get surgery. I had to get a screw put in my arm to keep it together, and I ended up suffering for 6 months. But I was so competitive. They asked me to do a big match. I took the match. I cut off my cast, and I did it. And I just had to get surgery a week after.
Okay. You also are married, are you not?
Yes, I just got married in October.
Congratulations. Were you with your lady at that time?
I was not. This was like a couple months right before we met.
You know what? Now I know why he did it.
Yeah, see?
Because if you had the second veto there, you would have to live with that. So I'm glad you have a lady like that in your life now.
Yeah, but I don't know. She's kind of like me. She trains. I don't know if you know. She does jujitsu. She's a
Mhm.
competitor. She competes a lot. So like it's hard to say because like she actually motivates me to compete more. Even if I'm like gonna take a weekend off, she'll be like, "Oh, you should just do the match. Just we can go out there and do it together." So it's interesting. She almost like pushes me, motivates me more to do more.
Sure. I think it would be hard pressed to figure out, though, that she wouldn't do the math of you get more hurt, you out longer, that I think failed to happen when you go, get me out of this cast.
Oh,
Then
correct.
just
Yeah,
go, I just
she's
feel
definitely
like
the smarter one. I'm, between the two of us, she's definitely the more like she's definitely the smarter of the two. I just go out there and do stuff, and she definitely postures like the long term effect more for sure.
I mean, listen, dude, I think it's good that we have these safeguards because jiu-jitsu is not always fun when you're hanging on the sidelines. How did you exist for those 6 months? Like, what were you doing in that time when you couldn't train as much as you wanted to or the way that you like to?
Yeah, I still went into the gym and like tried to teach classes or be in the environment. I was still there probably 5 or 6 days a week. I just went in there. When my arm was even half healthy, I wrapped it up and just taped it to my body and still like light load or half
Mm.
load. So I kind of trained the whole time. It wasn't exactly the same, but I still was able to get stuff done. I never like feel like I take time off from the jiu-jitsu in general ever. Even if I'm like hurt, I'm still in the gym like trying to teach or trying to help other people and just like trying to solve different problems I face by watching other people. So I think I'm always involved in jiu-jitsu somehow.
I hope my students see and hear this because sometimes they get like a boo boo and then they're like, oh, coach, I can't come today. My
Oh yeah.
I go hurt on my bicep, but I'm like, okay, well, you don't have to roll. Like you could still come and learn because the issue that's going to happen is if you don't show up, then you're going to be a little more lost. And then you're going to
Yeah.
look at me like I did something to you when you were the one that made the choice to not come and be active. Now I get it. It's hard to show up and not want to roll or not do the fun things. But if your brain's getting at least a little bit of reps, it's better than nothing. And I hate to say this, but every once in a while, I think you might be of a similar ilk on this. You see the injury that they got and you go, mm-hmm, sure. I'm just your coach. I can't tell you how to live your life. But like it's probably not that super injured. You know what I'm saying? So you can probably come back. Or the worst is when you go, my right leg doesn't work anymore and I'm still here. You know what I mean? Like you start putting into your
Oh,
own
yeah.
equation. So I just tell people, I'm like, listen, do what you want to do. But if you're really committed to this world and you are able to, at least take the information in.
Right. My gym has like a group chat, so we actually, if someone doesn't come in for a stupid injury, they kind of get made fun of or get roast. We have like a loving environment. We welcome everybody, but we have a chat, and it's definitely like if you say like your big toe hurts, you don't come into the gym, you gotta know about it for a week. You know, we have like a love hate relationship in the chat.
I think that's good. I'm a person that roasts people out of love. And there have been plenty of times when I've had to tell people who are pretty injured, like, hey, stay home. It doesn't make any sense today.
But
And there are other days where I go, I, mm, mm, you had a paper cut. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're okay. And the hard part is, it's not my gym. And I always try to act in service of the best entries of the gym and try to say the right things on behalf of my friend who owns the gym. And then I remember he's worse than me because he will literally tell them, like, why are you being a pussy? Or why are you doing this?
like,
And I go, yeah, I'm not that bad. Okay, I can kind of say whatever I want. But yeah, a lot of my students know I just try to be a guiding force to whatever it is. I don't make the decision for you. I just inform you of the pros and cons, and then I let you make your own choice. But yeah, if you are in the group chat, I'm very sorry. I can't promise you I won't make fun of you. So there is that. Andrew, with that in mind, you were asked about the matchups you were excited about. And there's a whole bunch of things that we don't know yet. There are some people who haven't been announced. There's literally everything is a surprise. But by the day, we're learning more and more about the competitors that are coming in. So for you, what excites you about this current roster of individuals on the PGF? And for you, what is like the appeal of wanting to do this particular rule set and this particular league?
Yeah, for me, it's just something that I never got to do before. I'm always a competitor. I never done the PGF. I want to go out there and fight the best guys in the world. I've seen the roster of a couple guys so far. I think everybody announced is high level, very good. I don't think anybody in the PGF is going to be easy. I love sub-only matches. I like the rule set. I always try and attack. I seen the PGF. They do 6-minute matches the whole season. It's sub-only. And if you submit the guy in under a minute, you get more points. So I think for my style, the PGF works out well. I go on, I attack the whole time. I think it favors my style. I push the pace. I think I'm going to get some people to be stalling. I'll get some shot clock opportunities. And I think I'm just going to put up a lot of points because I always go for the sub.
I appreciate that. So you came up doing a lot of sub-only tournaments or sub-only formats?
Yeah, just in general, like growing up training, we just I would roll until I couldn't roll no more. So in the gym, I would do like 6-minute rounds, 10-minute rounds, and just do 20 in a row. I was lucky enough. I grew up training when I was like a younger, so as a kid, a teenager, I was able to like just train a lot. So I feel like I'm used to a lot of like just rolling in general. My cardio, I think, is probably one of the best that's going to be there. I think I won't get tired in 6 minutes ever. So I think I can do 3 or 4 matches a night and not be worried about getting tired. And I always go for submissions. And I think if you watch the PGF, everybody who does good before, Jet Thompson, hunt submissions. I feel like I have that same type of style. While I'll go out there, I'll pass or I'll play bottom. I'll just go for submissions. And I'm very entertaining to watch. I think people want to see you do stuff. I cartwheel over people. I'll try and backflip to pass someone's guard. I wrestle. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do, I can do. So I'm going to go out there and just try and put in entertaining matches.
You mentioned this. It's something that I relate to as well, which is when people come to visit my gym, initially I don't always put on a clock. If I know we've got time and they're first starting off, I like to download their game, see what they like to do, let them move where they want to move. And then I just learn a lot about their game. And then before you know it, like, dude, the other day with one of my guests, he was like, hey, man, I'm good. And I was like, really? Are you done now? And I'm thinking, like, I'm not the athlete. What do you mean you're done? And then I looked at like my recording and I was like, oh, it's been an hour. Oh, yeah, we should be done. Like, it would be rude to keep him longer. He's a guest and he's fighting soon. So, hey, an hour was perfect for me, but that's how my brain operates. You're more so just problem solving as much as you can when you're rolling so that I don't even think of the time most of the time unless I have a timer going.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I think, especially me training with someone, actually, especially for the PGF, like the guys on my team, I get to train with them the whole time. I think the more I train with someone, the better I get against them. So I think for me, if I have to, I never want to fight a teammate, but if I end up having to fight one of the Philly Phenoms in the playoffs, I think I'd actually do really good against them because the more I train with someone, the better I get against them. So the whole PGF for me, I think, is a good format. I really think it favors my style and my process of learning.
I love that. Let's do this. Let's take a step back. You mentioned a whole bunch of experience. You mentioned 20 years plus of rolling. I'd love to know, what was the first sport you played? Like, where did you find athletics in your life?
Yeah, I actually grew up wrestling. So I was in a wrestling mat club before I even started at school. And then when I was 5 years old, I was wrestling for my elementary school. So I just, when I was in diapers, I remember just like growing up, always trying to become like a wrestler and wrestling. So I think like wrestling just, it's a tough sport and it made me tougher for jiu-jitsu. I think the wrestling really like made my jiu-jitsu style better. So ever since I was young, I just wrestled my whole life. I think it just helped me so much.
Did you play other sports at the time, or were you just hyper focused on wrestling?
Yeah, I wrestled almost my whole life. I did play a little bit of football. But I feel like football didn't translate to jiu-jitsu and wrestling as well. I was very good at football, but I feel like it wasn't just like my passion as much as wrestling and jiu-jitsu was. I think there's something like going out and facing another guy one-on-one and having to beat him. And it's just like you out there on the mat in the spotlight. It's always like motivated me to do better. I like kind of like the one-on-one aspect with football. I was good at football, but it was a team sport. I kind of like going out there on my own and control my own destiny more than having to like rely on my teammates.
That's understandable. just as a note, this is a team event, so you know what I mean. Like, we gotta.
I think it's both. You see, I don't know if it is a
It
team
is,
event.
but
I
it is
think it is,
both
but it isn't.
for
It's
sure.
both. Look,
But some of these guys who have been on teams that don't produce will tell you when you're in a team and it's sometimes toward the end of a season, you feel that element of, I want to go out there and do this myself. And there have been dudes in the PGF who have carried their teams on their backs, but there's definitely a team element that is difficult. So just,
well, as I'm sure most people know now, I know you know, we announced that Derek Layfield is the Phenoms' second selectee. So I feel like Derek Layfield is another very good high-level athlete. So I feel like having me and Derek Layfield at 1 and 2 is already a pretty good team for the Philly Phenoms.
that's true. And I can tell you this, Derek can also have certain feelings about teams. He's my boy and I love him, but he is a feisty firecracker sometimes, as I'm sure the people of Mexico will remind you. I just love this about him. He is great to watch. I do like the two of you as a team. You know, you were mentioning when you first got signed, you were really hoping that somebody else would be a good complement to you. So that's a lot of really good star power between the two of you guys. So I wish you well on that. But yeah, we'll see how the rest of those 3 slots fill out. But I want to return back to these days of you as you were growing up. So you start wrestling. When is the first day you enter a jiu-jitsu class? It sounds like when you were about 9. And can you describe your memories, if you have them, on that very first class?
Yeah, it's interesting. I was doing the wrestling off season, so I did like some mat clubs, but I didn't get to like train every day like I wanted to. And it was actually funny enough, there was a jiu-jitsu school like 2 minutes from my house when I was a kid. So I was just missed wrestling during the off season, and my parents took me down to try jiu-jitsu. It was kind of like not the same thing, but my parents thought it was kind of the same thing because just grappling. I walked in on the first day. There was a guy named Chad Charlesworth there. He was on the Pedro Sauer. And I just remember taking the class, and I was like, "This is awesome." I thought it was better than wrestling. It was like I get to still grapple by trying to break a guy's arm or put him to sleep. If I was a kid, I was like, "This is so cool." I just fell in love with this since day one.
So, okay, that's good. We usually ask people about where they fall in love with jiu-jitsu, so we're going to come back to that. But I want to ask this. What was like the first move that you felt like you really mastered or that you really connected with? A lot of people sometimes say it's the first thing they learned. Sometimes it takes a little while to really feel like, man, this is my move. And then some people, man, it takes them forever to learn something, but they stay with it. So for you, what was like the first move that spoke to you?
I think the guillotine. It's funny because I was always like in wrestling, like a counter wrestler. So I used to let people shoot on me in wrestling and get behind them. And in jiu-jitsu, it's funny because everybody, I'm so good at guillotines. Everybody tries to shoot. I just wait to get to like a front headlock position and attack chokes. So I think since I was a kid, just because of my counter wrestling game, like the front headlock, guillotine, anaconda, DOS stuff has always been my favorite stuff.
Okay. So that segues into our main question we'd also like to ask people about their first day, which is, when did you actually fall in love with jiu-jitsu in a way that you wanted to do it as more than just a hobby? So it's one thing to really like the sport and to really enjoy it, but there's another where you're pursuing it as more than just something you do on the side.
Yeah, I would honestly say probably just the first week of training. I went in the first day. I loved it. I was actually losing to people, and I was like, "This is crazy," because I was a pretty good at like elementary wrestling. And I was used to winning a lot. I went into jiu-jitsu like the first day, and I didn't do so well. Then day 2, I didn't do much better, and I was just a competitor as a kid, so I just wanted to always get better. So I kept on going in until I started to beat everybody. And I just remember like as a young kid going in and being like, "Oh, I can finally beat everybody here," and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with like the puzzle, how hard it was. It like no one walks in on day 1 and is the best one there. That's what I like about it. Like to be good at jiu-jitsu, I think you have to dedicate time and hours and years to be the best. You can't come in on day 1 and be good. And I've been training 20 years and there's still people out there I think that are better than me. It's always like a never-ending puzzle for me. And I just love like that every day I'm trying to learn something new or trying to get better.
You bring up good points, and I'm very genuinely interested to know, at what point do you feel like you emerge as a competitor in a way that you think like, man, I not only love this, but I feel I'm pretty good at it?
I think my teenage years is when I started being like, oh, I'm good at this. You know, as a young kid, like 10 to 14ish, I was winning matches and losing some. When I got to like 15, it just started to click for me. I was competing more. I won a lot of stuff, and I just started to feel as I got older from like 15 till now, I just feel like it. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like it just like almost like muscle memory. Everything just makes sense. I'm out there competing in a match. I don't have to think about it no more. It just like happens. My body just like reacts and just does this stuff.
And then for you, there's a lot of people who are going to learn more about you. You're well known in the jiu-jitsu world, but PGF kind of appeals to a very broad audience. So there may be some people who have never seen you before. Do you have like a favorite match or one that you kind of pinpoint to that you say, oh, I really feel like that version of me is like a solid grappler representation of who I am and what do I do?
Yeah, there's actually this match from Finisher Sub Only when I was maybe like 18 or 19. I went against this guy named Rob Best. Went to overtime and I put him to sleep in overtime. But the whole match was like back and forth, scrambling, takedown, submission attempts, escaping submissions. So I figure if you want to like watch Andrew Kochel Jiu-Jitsu, me against Rob Best would be a good one. But I'm much better now than I was back then. That's when I was 20. I'm now 30 years old, so that was 10 years ago. But I still have like that same type of energy and same style. And that's definitely my favorite match I always think about when I look back at my career so far.
Well, Andrew, just so you know, that shows how far and how much this comes full circle. I remember watching that match. I didn't know you back then, but I remember seeing it. And part of what stuck out to me was that I remembered the dude going the 80cc style, no rash guard. You come in.
Yeah.
And whenever somebody does that, I'm like, does this dude fight? Like, what's his deal? And then I see that happening. And I remembered it being a very high impact match. And it is so funny to me that, you watch these matches not knowing a ton, but I love seeing new talent and learning a lot about them. And so without even knowing it, I kind of was familiar with you, but I didn't know you personally. So whenever somebody would like mention names or anything like that, I was like, oh yeah, I've seen him. I've never talked to you like this.
Right.
So all these years later, it is funny to me that when you mentioned that match, I was like, I wonder what match he'll bring up. Maybe something I don't know. And I'm like, oh, I actually know that one. Holy shit. Yeah.
It's crazy too because he came out with his shirt off, like you're saying. He was just like looked so much bigger than me. So I figured the whole crowd at the time thought I was gonna lose. And then I went out there and I think I won the whole match. I killed him for 10 minutes, just didn't sub him. And then overtime he went tap and I put him to sleep and I thought he looked like he was like dying. And I just remember that because like everybody there like thought he was like so much bigger than me. I don't think size really matters that much in jiu-jitsu. So it was just like a moment that I'll never forget.
Yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. Some people do that as an intimidation tactic. Some people, if they fight MMA, they're just used to doing it that way. So it just kind of puts them in a competitive mindset. But yeah, I remember just physical appearance wise, I go, oh, okay, well, he's in shape. That doesn't mean everything in jiu-jitsu. It can mean a lot sometimes. And one thing it does signal to me, if I do see somebody doing that, like say at 80cc Open or something like that, I go, the pace is probably going to be pretty good. So if anything, that's the only thing I usually take away from it. I've seen plenty of people, not like saying that happened to Rob per se in this event, but other people who have done it, I've seen them come out, do the intimidation game, and then get slept in like 20 seconds. And at least with you, there was a match and it was fun. But I've seen people be like, try to get intimidated, and then all of a sudden, some like jiu-jitsu nerd heel hooks them, and you go, it's valid. It's how the sport works. It's why it's a sport, So you can never make presumptions just based on appearance in this world.
Yeah, I think that changed a lot though over the last couple of years. I think when I first started jiu-jitsu, like it wasn't that popular. So a lot of people didn't realize like jiu-jitsu doesn't matter about your size. When I was growing up, I feel like everybody thought like the bigger guy was gonna win. But now we've been doing this so long, I think everybody's like jiu-jitsu guys at least understand that like it's a lot more matter about like technique and stuff than just being big.
For sure. I've definitely had people when they come to roll with me at the gym, they get mad at me because I'll tap them and they're pretty good. And then they're like looking at me like, how did that happen? And I go, I don't know, dude. Just it's training. I don't really take this that seriously. And maybe that's why. And then when I try to break it down to its specifics, I go, your base sucks. There you go. That's how I did it. And then they just look at you and I go, don't you want somebody, a nerd like me, to help you? If you're already athletic and I'm beating you without being athletic and fast, don't you want me as an ally? And then they usually go like, yeah, you could be useful, you nerd. I go, exactly. So I'll tell you how to do it. And lo and behold, sometimes those people become strategists. But I really do feel like one of the benefits of the sport is if you really do your homework, you really love it, you can find ways to make this work for you in incredibly different forms. So that is really cool to see for you. So let's ask this though. If that is your favorite memory and that is your favorite match, what along the way with 20 years plus of competing have you learned? Like, what do you impart as wisdom to your guys, especially when they're entering their first competition? You have so much experience. How do you help them get over nerves? How do you help them find their way as competitors?
Yeah, for me, it's just all about mindset. I used to not believe in myself enough. And now when I go out to compete, I just believe I'm going to win. So I feel like if you believe in yourself when you go out there, you do much better. I feel like a lot of people just in their head, they don't think they're going to do as good as they are. They're not as good as they are. I always tell myself before I go out there, I can beat this guy. I'm better than this guy. And I feel like having that positive mindset that you can win or you think you're going to win really helps. It helps me a lot. So I try and teach my team the same thing.
That's a good place to be because the worst thing you want to do is mentally eliminate yourself from winning. That does happen. I've seen it at very high levels where people are like, that dude's too hard to beat.
Right.
Or you've defeated yourself mentally. Maybe you didn't say it out loud, but that is really where you gave away the whole game. And it's so strange that it happens at such a high level, but it does. And I have told people over the years, I'm like, they'll tell me in confidence, they'll be like, oh, hey, yeah, this dude's really tough. And I go, right, but you're very good. So go win. Like, really is what it comes down to. And it's easier said than done. But I think what happens is people get into jiu-jitsu math. So they think oh, this person beat this person. Therefore, there's no way that can work or this can work. And you go, it works until it doesn't. So that's why I find it very interesting. I love Abe. Abe is working with Substats and with Egg, and I'm intrigued to see how that goes because I'm a jiu-jitsu nerd for that stuff. But I also know that a lot of it comes down to gut and having an instinct and feeling like you're betting on somebody in their history. So, as much as we want to sit here in Moneyball, we don't know what that's going to do just yet. So I'm excited to see you guys. I hope. There's nothing more I hope, as much as I love Egg, as much as I love Abe, that you guys just prove the stats people wrong. Oh, it's going to be so glorious if you guys do. Oh, that's what I'm hoping for. But we love them. We wish them well. And I think they're going to do some good stuff. If this is the case, sir, and we're starting to wind through, what can you promise us this year for PGF Season 9? You've already made your way onto a team. You've already told us what we can kind of expect, that you're going to push the pace. But, what can we fully expect from you on the mic, behind the scenes, as a character? Because once you become a member of the PGF, you're not just an athlete, you are on a reality show, essentially. So what can you promise us this season?
Yeah, I'm going to show up and be myself. I think myself, how I am now, is I'm a competitor, and I'm going to mess with everybody in the house. I'm going to talk shit on the interviews. That's who I am. I'm going to sub people. I'm going to tell them I subbed them. I'm going to tell them I'm better than them, and that's where you can get the whole season. I'm not going to show up there and be quiet. If I think I'm better than someone, I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to sub the person. Then on the same thing on the interviews afterwards, I'm going to say, I told you I was going to beat the guy. And that's just how it is. I'm not going to change anything because of the camera. I always been like this. That's just how I am. And I'm going to show up there with my high personality, my competitiveness to win. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to mess with everybody. I'm going to have a good time, but I'm going to be there to win.
This is so interesting because I take you at your word at being competitive. We've covered that. We know that. The trash talking I've never experienced. So is there an
you're not with me enough yet.
I know that. That's why I'm asking. Can you give me an example of what you're doing? Because you alluded to some group chats, but we don't know that. We aren't privy to that. We don't have that. So what can you tell us that may identify that guy? Because even when I've seen you compete, pretty good guy. You seem like a baby face when you're competing. So I don't know this heel variation you just described here.
Yeah, I think I've always been a baby face, and I feel like just the last couple months I'm trying to change that around a little bit. I want to go out there and be more of the villain. I decided recently that the baby face is cool, but what people want to see is like the guy who goes out there and wins and talks a lot. So I'm trying to change my whole mindset here of going out there. You're going to see at the PGF, I'm going to release a new Andrew Kochel for everybody to see.
Wow. Okay. And now I just put one and one together. You and Derek on the same team.
It's going to be a fabulous time.
Yeah, that's an interesting pair now that I think about it. Because now that you've told us and you've proclamated it, you've been like, no. Babyface me, dead. Emerging from the shadows now, heel version. Derek has a whole persona named Rodman that is his whole alter ego. Do you have an alter ego? Do you have a name for it? Have you ascribed this? Have you been trying it at the gym on?
No, I don't have a name yet. I don't know. I think what's going to happen is at the PGF, they're going to come up with something on their own. I'm going to come out there and be myself, and they're going to come up with a nickname, and I think it's going to stick. I don't want to nickname myself because I don't think that's cool, but I think I'm going to get something while I'm at the PGF, and it's going to stay for a long time.
Oh, my God. Yeah, all right. Well, now that I'm thinking about you and Derek together, I am a little worried about having to make sure we put some security on there around you.
You know, me and Derek we already reached out to each other. We had a little text conversation. I think me and him are going to be on the same page. We might not always get along because I think we both have high personalities, but I think we're going to make a winning team.
Let's put it this way. If you guys are winning, I think you're going to get along just great until you don't have to, when you have to go up against each other in the finals. It's more so, I think, everybody else, because I felt like we got peaks of Derek. And when he came in the middle of the season or early in the season, he was coming into this world and he acclimated as an athlete. But I didn't even feel like we got the full experience of him being this bad guy. You had elements of him being flashy, but that doesn't scream bad guy to me. That's just like, damn, he's really good. You can't.
Yeah, really, I'd say. I think a lot of people think he's a bad guy. I think he just wants to win, and I don't hate the guy for that. He shows up and he wants to be in the PGF. He wants to win the whole thing, and I feel like if you're going to go to the PGF, everybody should want to win. So I feel like he gets the bad guy vibe, but I feel like just talking to him personally so far, just a couple messages back and forth, I feel like we're both on the same page that we both just want to be winners.
Let's be clear. To me, he's a sweetheart. I've never had a bad interaction with him. I love the kid. When he was in Mexico for that last EBI, that was like, he was doing something that would have potentially got him kicked out of the competition. And they would have been within their rights to stop and disqualify him. And they played that up. And we're talking, no greater way did that give Alan Sanchez a gift to be this really good guy versus like, boo, look at Rodman. And I don't think Derek gave a shit. And that's appealing in its own way. But yeah, I think he knows he can lean into that. And now that you're going to have an accomplice there, all I'm thinking is the minute both you and him are on the same page against somebody in the PGF, I feel like that might get spicy. So I'm gonna have to mention that to our camera guys. Be like, camera on Derek and Andrew. Done. But yeah, dude, I'm very excited about this. I think that you guys have an incredible opportunity. Derek was a great addition to last season. He's an incredible competitor. I've seen that kid since he was a kid competing, and now he's grown into this adult. That's a real problem for a lot of people. And you having this plethora of experience of over 20 years of grappling, being the first signee, it all makes sense, sir. So what I would love to do right now is I'm going to put the camera on you, and I would love for you to shout out any friends, family members, sponsors, anybody who makes you the grappler that you are, so that you can give some thanks to all those people who help behind the scenes. But sir, camera is on you right now.
Yeah, I guess first it would be my wife. You know, she supports me in all my matches. She trains. She helps me get better. She's also, I don't know if you know this yet, she's also pregnant right now. So she's blessing me to go to the PGF for these 6 weeks while she's pregnant. So I'm going to miss some doctor appointments. I'm going to miss some important things with her. But not one time did she tell me not to go. She actually wanted me to go. She was trying to convince me to go the whole time. So first of all, I'd like to thank her the most, because without her, I don't think a lot of this would be possible. And then just my parents growing up as a kid, they took me to all my tournaments, and They made me to Grappling. They drove me hours to tournaments. They stayed overnight at places. They took me to the gym every day. So just my family and my wife, even my wife's parents, they help me so much. They come to my matches and watch. They always support me. So just my family atmosphere at home in general is amazing. All my teammates at Valley Jiu-Jitsu, they help me train. They help me get ready. 10th Fight at Ready, and I've been going to. They've been helping me so much get ready. And then just the Philly Phenoms for accepting me as the first guy. They asked me to do it. I'm excited to do it. And I'm so grateful they asked me to be the first Philly Phenom.
Okay. We made it all the way to the end of the interview, and you hint at this idea that you are about to have a child. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
When is the child due?
May.
Okay. Okay, you'll be back. All right. It's
Yeah, I'll be back.
okay, good. Because I was like, bro, we can't have a moment when you're about to like heel hook the shit out of somebody and then be like, he's gonna have a baby. So, woo! I was
No, listen, we were both in for this no matter what. We decided the PGF was the best thing. She's in on it. She's here now somewhere. She's standing over there. She's all happy for the PGF. She's happy I'm going. So I'm going to be there for the baby's birth still, but I want to give the PGF for almost anything. We're excited to be a part of it.
Hey, you know what? I love hearing that, man. And you've got a great ride or die there. So give her props, please, for that. But yeah, there was just a part of me, logistically, I didn't want to hear like her water broke and like, I got to get out of here, guys. I just scored 7 points. I'll see you later at home. Like, okay.
No, I think it's a blessing. I think knowing the baby's coming is motivating me to do better for the show. So I feel like ever since I knew the baby was coming, it happened at the same time. The Philly Phenoms asked me to be on the team, and then we found out she was pregnant. So it all happened at the same time. I think it's a perfect fit. Knowing that now I'm competing for my wife and I'm having a kid coming motivates me more. I've never been this hungry to win something. So I think the baby coming just like makes me want to be better.
Good for you, man. And again, that's a huge moment. And I guess we'll see if you get preemptive dad strength coming in, because that does happen.
I already feel it coming. I already feel it. I'm feeling stronger. Yeah. It might be I just turned 30 and it's like maybe I'm 30 now and I'm getting to my peak strength. But ever since I knew I was a dad, I just felt stronger. I got the dad bod going. I'm changing.
I love hearing that. Andrew, listen, man, it is a pleasure to see you continue to evolve. And like I said, all those years ago, I can never guess who I'm going to talk to. But the kid I saw in that match all that time ago, I'm glad he's grown up into an incredible grappler and that he has the branding. No matter what happens in this world, they can't take away that you were the first signee to a Philly Jiu-Jitsu franchise. And so even before the season started, you've already made history. And I want to congratulate you on that because it's a testament to your resume, man. So keep up the great work. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in person and then likely roasting you probably shortly thereafter.
Now, thank you for having me too today, and thank you for interviewing me. I appreciate it all so much. I'm happy to be here. I love everything that comes to PGF, doing the interviews and talking to people. I like meeting new people in jiu-jitsu, so I thank you so much.
Awesome, man. I'll talk to you off air in a second, and I will say thank you. But right now, Andrew, thank you very much for your time. And hey, you guys, thank you for your time. A few quick reminders. First and foremost, woo! Very excited that Andrew's going to be having a baby, but like legit was worried when he's like, yeah, if he had said that he was going to have the kid in April, still nervous, but May. So we wish them a very happy and healthy baby in the very near future. Super excited for that. And I'm super excited for you guys. So, hey, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I told you I'd give you a topic. Here is the topic for you guys. What have you roasted your teammates on when it came to an injury? Was it valid? And what did you say to them? Like, tell us what the injury was and what did you say to them? I feel like that's a fair thing. I can tell you, most recently, one of my kids, he was telling me his bicep felt a little sore. And when he told me this, he's like, Coach, feel my biceps real quick. Tell me, like, do they feel differently? And I go, kid, you work out. All you're asking me to do is tell you that you work out. And he goes, no, it feels way different, doesn't it? No. But if you feel injured, I believe you. Just stop telling me to tell you that you work out, dude. I'm just not going to do it. So you can tell us in the comment section what is the most ridiculous thing you have told your training partners when they have had an injury, quote unquote. Additionally, After like, commenting, and subscribing, you can check us out, patreon.com/grappling hour. You can see all my interviews 30 days before everybody else and extra bonus content for just a few extra dollars, including tape studies with the athletes, Roast Raf, Grappling Hour Challenge, and extra episodes not available anywhere else. So check that out, patreon.com/grappling hour. Last couple reminders, you guys, get yourself some Grappling Hour tank tops, hoodies, t-shirts. That's at rafesparza.com/merch. Every penny you spend goes right back into this show. So I really would appreciate it if you do that. And last but not least, if you want to continue the conversations that we have here on the show, you can check us out on our Discord at Grappling Hour. Ladies and gents, that's going to do it for us here at the Grappling Hour. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.
Perfect.